Next up, and moving right along, we've got Joe Beninato, and he's the CEO of Banter.
I'm ready. Hey, everybody, I'm Joe Beninato. I'm the founder and CEO of Banter. We are a startup in Palo Alto. This is number 8 for me, believe it or not. And our focus is on reinventing the way that you communicate with businesses. We're starting with retailers. I had a problem, which is I frequently reach out to companies and I hate waiting on hold on my phone or trying to send them an email or whatever else walking into a store. The question was, why can't you send a text message to a business? And other people have tried various versions of this over time. What we're trying to do is enable retailers to receive SMS messages, Facebook Messenger, whatever text-based inputs. There's an AI engine on the back that responds back to those inquiries. And when no AI can handle 100%, so when the system cannot handle an inquiry, it's too complex or we don't understand it or whatever it might be, it rolls over to a human agent who might be in a call center or on a social media team or wherever the business decides makes the most sense for them. I was not alone. Twilio, and this is a little self-serving on their part, but the number one way people want to reach out to businesses is over messaging, and that includes all forms, including SMS. And so we started over the summer, and I'll show you what we have built so far. It's very early. Let's hope the SMS gods are with me. If not, I'll switch over to a native app and show you that. Oh, by the way, we're hiring, so check out our website, and you can see what we're looking for. So this is going to be a little hard with. I'm just going to ditch the mic so I can type on here, and I'll try and speak loud. Okay, so our. Can you guys see that? Well, it's a little small, but our fictional retailer is Menkins. For those of you who watch Mad Men, this is so we don't offend anybody. And we have a couple of use cases running right now. One is very simple, store locations. Is there a store near me? Is there a store nearby? Whatever it might be. Store hours, and then actually buying products. And it's a pretty wide range. Women's shoes, women's dresses, and men's t-shirts and polo shirts are the items that we've assembled so far. So it's all natural language. You don't have to use punctuation. I could say, is there a store near me? Looking for a Menkins. And I'll send an SMS and I'll get a response back, hopefully. Oh, thanks. So SMS does not have location data unless you get permission from people. We don't want to be pinging cell towers without asking them. So I could say San Francisco or even SF, and we'll go out and find the 3 closest locations to you, and you can see 3 locations there. I can now say, what time does Hillsdale close? And hopefully we'll get you the right data. So it closes at 9 o'clock today. I can now kind of freeform a little bit. What time does it open tomorrow? And you'll notice I'm not referencing a store any longer. Like, we know which store you're talking about, and no punctuation or whatever. You can say, what time does it open or close next Tuesday? You can make appointments for various departments, whatever might make the most sense. So that's pretty straightforward. I call it the database lookup stuff. The harder stuff includes database lookups, but the natural language understanding portion is much more difficult. So if I said, I need a dress, and hopefully this will work. So we have 563 dresses in our database right now for this fictional retailer. And you can see we're just going to pull out 12. And I switch over to mobile web just to show those. And you can see, like, it's a pretty wide variety of styles and colors. We just showed the first 12. But I could be very specific. I could say, black cocktail dress under 200. And let's hope this works. So now we're down to 24 possibilities, and again, just for the purposes of this, we just show the top 12. You can see, hopefully these are all black cocktail dresses. what retailers love is this could actually be inside of their mobile web experience or their native app experience. I'll show you one more quick thing. I know we're running out of time because the boots example is pretty good. So I need some black leather boots under 175. And we'll see what comes back there. So again, hopefully all black and all leather. And if I had said tall, it would have picked out the tall ones. So I'm out of time. That's it. How about some questions?
Thanks. Restart that. Okay, cool.
Thanks for the mic assist.
You bet. I'm a good mic holder sometimes. Hands up high. Here.
So 2 parts. One is, what is the onboarding process for a customer, and separately, what's your business model, or how do you charge for it?
So we're the first retailers are going live in Q1, and the onboarding process is actually fairly straightforward. We need access to their product data, and luckily 5 years ago this would have been a real challenge. Now many of these companies have APIs. Some even have public APIs where you can go get like the inventory level of Samsung TVs and the Mountain View Best Buy. That's like publicly available today on their website. So get the product data, work with them to get some training data specific to their sort of business and how they like to speak to customers, what sort of attitude or lack of attitude they want the chatbot to have essentially. And then start deploying in small doses. It could be, we deploy multiple places. One is native SMS, could be in-app, could be on the web, on their website. And so they want to limit the traffic initially, obviously, so we make sure this thing's working. That can be done either with only rolling it out in a certain store or rolling it out to certain page views on their website, whatever it might be. Business model is, it's a SaaS model, so these are enterprise software deals, anywhere from 6 to 7 figures to start. If you think about it, if we can handle 80% of the inquiries that a retailer is being asked for a large retailer like a Home Depot or Lowe's, that could be in the tens of millions of dollars that they can save through automation. We obviously won't make that much from them, but you can imagine a percentage of the savings might be interesting to them. I think I got both parts.
Yeah, I'm a naive on bots, so this may be a dumb question. But the black boots, do you give it hints, or do you just train it? It shows white boots, and you say no. And how do you get it hooked up?
Get it hooked up with the retailer?
No, get it hooked up with the right answers. How does it know how to answer?
Well, so our team has actually built some systems like this before, and a lot of it is the engine that is actually doing the natural language understanding. That's a huge piece of it. Most people talk about NLP. NLP is a commodity now. You can get an open source NLTK, and it does a pretty fantastic job. The NLU and the NLG, which is the generation part, those are the hard parts. And so having a team who's done this before, who understands the models, who, we get the training data and continue to refine based on that, but the initial stuff is all done through our core engine, and that's sort of our proprietary piece. We're not using somebody else's engine. We tried a number of them, and honestly, I hope I don't offend anyone who works at one of those companies here, but they didn't work for our application. They probably worked for other applications.
Hi.
Where am I looking?
Yeah, here.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, talking about the NLU, right? It tends to work well for anything a sentence under 10 words, right? Anything more than that, it tends to little bit off the radar, right? Are you handling more than 10 words in a sentence, or is it only for short sentences?
Well, the case with text messaging is most of those messages are short sentences or even fragments of sentences. The hard part is when a teenager starts texting like, how are you, with the letter U, right, as opposed to YOU. So right now, most of the data we see coming through is very short, not longer form paragraphs. Those would be very difficult to do. What happens in those cases is if we drop below a certain confidence level on a response, then it rolls. We say, let us get a specialist to help you with that. And by the way, if any of you used Apple's online chat system recently, they just turned on the automated responses, and it was very funny because the response that I got back from one of them last week was almost verbatim what our response is in those cases. So it was pretty funny to see that starting to go live with those guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Cool idea. Quick question about what happens when the user is in the store. How does the experience shift for perhaps very granular questions?
Like, what's an example of that?
Like, hey, I'm in your store, I'm looking for those black boots, I can't find them.
So we can either, today it's very hard to send a message to a store employee at a retailer, although I think a few years from now, like if you walk into a Best Buy or a Gap, every store associate has a smartphone, right? And so most retailers are now trying to figure out what to do with those employees. Like, can they get work-related messages on their phone without looking like they're checking Facebook in the middle of their shift, right? So we don't necessarily switch context. We handle all sorts of things. Like number one question in a mall or a retailer is, where is the bathroom? So you can imagine that makes sense in the context of being in a store, but once you're outside the store, it doesn't really make any sense. So we'll handle, where's the shoe department? Oh, it's on second floor in the back right corner. Where can I find this product? Well, white t-shirts is the canonical difficult problem. Well, they're in the junior section, they're in the men's, underwear section, they're in the ladies, fashion section. So we have to be able to understand those and then be able to, map accordingly. But most of these stores have planograms now. If you walk into a Target and want to know where the Tide is, they know it's aisle 12, left side, fourth shelf or whatever it might be. And it's pretty straightforward to pull that stuff in. Did I run out of time?
You're out of time.
Thank you very much. Come find me afterwards if you want to talk.
All right, thank you, Joe. Banter.